Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go.
Hello.
Welcome to Main Event Mondays. Joined today by the lovely Moo.
And no.
And no. We're going to be talking some politics stuff that's going on. I know it's a little over her head, but she does seem to enjoy these conversations somewhat.
I just zone out.
Okay. So let's start with Nikki Haley. Like I was telling you in the live stream, Nikki Haley lost to no one. So Nikki Haley faced no major challenge Tuesday in Nevada's presidential primary. She still lost, according to NBC News projections. Nevada voters in the state-run primary had a choice to reject all candidates on the ballot, and they did just that, with more people choosing to vote for none of these candidates than Haley. That is bad. It was a stinging rebuke of Haley, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and South Carolina governor, and one that some party leaders had encouraged. The outcome in Nevada was Haley's third consecutive loss in the early state primary contest. Still, Haley's campaign indicated that the results wouldn't affect how long she'd stay in the race. Even Donald Trump knows that when you play penny slots, the House wins. We didn't bother to play a game rigged for Trump. We're full steam ahead in South Carolina and beyond, spokesperson Olivia Perez Cubas said.
Perez Cubas.
Yeah. So.
Hey, her name's spelled the same way as mine.
Yeah. So, former President Donald Trump, far and away the front runner of the Republican nomination, wasn't on the same ballot as Haley because he is set to compete in the party-run caucus Thursday. In a Truth Social post, Trump said it was a bad night for Nikki Haley. Even if Nikki Haley had won the primary, it wouldn't have put her any closer to the GOP nomination because she wouldn't have received any delegates. The state Republican Party decided that only candidates who take part in the caucus can win delegates. Trump is the only candidate set to participate in Thursday's caucus, putting him on a path to claim all of Nevada's 26 delegates. So, what that tells me is that people see Nikki Haley and see that she is... What's that?
Don't like her?
Yeah, they don't like her. And why don't they like her?
Because she's an awful person.
Not because she's an awful person, but because the policy...
starting wars for no reason.
That's basically it. She wants to do wars for no reason. She's an establishment candidate, and people are getting sick of the establishment. The establishment has done nothing but overtax the American people, disregard the American people's rights, and the federal government is feeling the wrath for that, which is actually a good segue into the Biden fiasco.
Isn't it the year to vote?
This is the year to vote. 2024, we will be voting in November on...
He's been our president since 2020, right?
Well, no, 2021. So the last time we voted is in November of 2020 for the president. We will vote again this year.
It's been 4 years?
It's been 4 years since we voted. But he's been in office only since January of 2021. So he's going to be in office. Biden will be in office until January of next year. That's assuming that he doesn't win re-election. But based on the conversation we're about to have with the DOJ report, that's highly unlikely.
Wait, we're having a conversation with somebody?
You and I are having a conversation. Right? We're talking to each other?
Yeah, but what you said us, but then what's the other thingy that you said?
The conversation that we are about to have.
No, you said something else.
No, I didn't.
Okay. I thought you were meaning like we're gonna, like, I didn't know if you meant like we're gonna talk or like we're gonna call someone and talk.
No, you and I are talking.
Okay.
So the segue is into Biden's DOJ report. So special counsel, I think Robert Hur. I know H-U-R is the guy who did it. I can't remember his first name now, though, to tell you the truth. I think it's Robert Hur. Nonetheless, that's not important. What he found was that Biden willfully and knowingly retained documents that he should not have had access to, and that he actually disclosed those documents to other people as well, classified documents, which is highly illegal. So this is the same thing Trump's being tried for down in Florida for his classified documents. The biggest stark difference between Trump and Biden is Trump was the president of the United States. Okay, Biden, when he kept these classified documents, was not president of the United States. The office of the president of the United States sets forth the classification. He has full control of it. He's the only person, or she, whenever we get a female president, they are the only person that could utter a classified information and declassify it just for the simple fact that they uttered it, because they retain full control over the classification of state-held documents. Okay? That's the big difference there. The second difference is that they're going full steam after Trump for this, even though Trump's documents were all locked up in filing cabinets in a locked closet, where Biden's documents were strewn out across garage floors in a Chinese-run...
it's a Chinese-run.
Yeah, Chinese-run college department. The
What's
Chinese
that?
government funded this Chinese think tank in one of Delaware's colleges, and the Biden administration had classified documents there. Or Biden before he had the Biden administration stored classified documents there. So anyway, they determined that he willfully retained and then disclosed these documents. And then they decided not to prosecute. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. They decided not to prosecute because they said that a jury would view a doddering old man that was sympathetic who has a failing memory. So the DOJ basically called the Biden unfit to stand trial because of mental decline, yet we, as the American people, have to suffer him as the president of the United States. If he is incapable of standing trial for the crimes he committed, he is not able to hold office. He should not be holding office. So there is, I've seen posts where there's no middle ground, and I totally agree with that. If we do not charge him, he should not be president. He needs to be either removed via the 25th Amendment or through impeachment. But there is no question anymore. The report from the DOJ has cemented this as a fact that Biden is not competent enough to be president right now. Do you agree? Disagree? Do I need to break something down?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. What do I need to break down?
Everything.
What do you mean?
Everything you just said.
Okay, do you know what the DOJ is? Department of Justice. They're
Okay.
they're like the Attorney General. They're the ones that handle like federal lawsuits and criminal charges. They're the ones that oversee the FBI, right? Okay. Robert Hur, I believe it's Robert Hur, and if I get that wrong, please correct me in the comments. But Hur, it was the special counsel. Special counsel is assigned so that way there is no interference from the DOJ. They specifically focus on a certain aspect. So in this case, it was the Biden having classified documents. During his investigation, he finds all these facts. He lays it out, and then he gives a recommendation as to how to proceed, what charges to bring. He decided not to bring charges because he didn't believe he could win because Biden is incompetent, meaning he's not smart enough. He's not there anymore. His mind is gone.
So is like the size of his brain like a peanut, kind of?
No. The size of his brain is going to be the size of his brain. But you know what Alzheimer's is, right?
All the knowledge is like the size of a peanut.
So Biden appears to have what's called Alzheimer's. You know what Alzheimer's is, right?
Yeah.
Where people just can't recall memories.
Memory loss.
Right. Yeah, memory loss. And then it also degrades their health. One key sign, the reason why I say that Biden looks like he has Alzheimer's is Alzheimer's patients seem to do really well for short periods of time, and ice cream is a major factor. And Biden has been doing a lot of ice cream, eating a lot of ice cream.
Like the ice cream that you eat?
Yeah. It helps.
People
For
with
some weird reason, it
Alzheimer's
kind of
have
helps.
Ice cream a lot? Like eat
Yeah.
ice cream?
It doesn't mean that everyone who eats a lot of ice cream has Alzheimer's, But what it does mean is people that have Alzheimer's typically eat a lot of ice cream. Right? And then he confuses people. He can't even remember when his son Bo died, or not where he died, but where he went to school. But Bo died.
He had a son.
Yeah, he has a few sons. Hunter, Bo.
Hunter and bow.
Yeah.
Like a bow that you hunt with.
Beau. Bo. Yeah. He keeps talking about people that have recently been deceased, if he's still having conversations with them. Which is, there's an interesting theory that he is actually having conversations with them because he's so close to death that the veil is thinning, so he can actually see these dead people and actually having conversations. It's interesting. I have no scientific fact that that's true in any way, shape, or form that it even happens, but nonetheless, it's an interesting talking point. Yeah. So let us know what you think. Should Biden be 25th, basically, taken out of office because of his mental decline?
I think he should.
Yeah, I mean, 10-year-old sits there and says that. Granted, she doesn't fully comprehend everything that we're talking about, but that's okay. And then, so we covered Nikki Haley, we covered Biden. What was the other topic we were going to cover? Do you remember?
No.
Tucker Carlson. Do you know who he is?
No.
He used to be a reporter for Fox News. And then Fox News cut him. About 6 months ago, I think? Something like that. And since then, he's moved over to X, or Twitter. And he's doing his journalism on there. And what he did is he flew over to Vladimir Putin in Moscow, in Russia, and had a sit-down conversation. It was a little over 2 hours, the interview. It was on X. I watched it. It was definitely interesting. I will say that. But he's been catching a lot of heat, like, oh, he's being a traitor because he's going and talking to Putin. Because Putin is the one leading Russia, and Russia is the one that invaded Ukraine, right? Okay, so...
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time, processing all what you're saying.
Okay.
You're talking really fast.
Apologize.
It's really... And also you're talking stuff that I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know Ukraine's at war right now, right?
They still?
Yeah, still.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years now.
More like 3.
Maybe 3. 2021. Yeah, 3 years. Yeah. So Putin is the leader of Russia. He's the one that went in and annexed Crimea back in 2014. And then he sent troops back in 2021. Now, so people are upset with Carlson by saying, oh, you're committing treason by going and talking. Well, the simple fact is free speech is free speech is free speech. Tucker Carlson has every right to go and talk to Vladimir Putin. And in all reality, it actually benefits the American people, the American taxpayer, which are being gouged right now by the federal government in order to fund Ukraine's defense from Russia. Now, the reason why I'm a little bit skeptical on all this is, one is, there's been peace talks that the Israeli people or the Israeli government have actually confirmed that, was it Boris Johnson? It was Johnson. Boris, maybe his first name, I can't remember, actually went and squashed those peace deals even though they were ready to sign. So now, and that was at the behest of the Biden administration. So now the Biden administration is interfering with Ukraine's ceasefire and peace negotiations. They went in and actively stopped them from happening. And the war is continuing on. Now, if you have a chance, I would take the 2 hours and watch the Tucker Carlson interview with Putin. Now, don't get it twisted. Putin obviously is going to shine himself. He did shine himself in the best possible light. Does that mean he is the best guy, that we should be supporting Putin? Hell no. But his reasonings, what he's trying to accomplish in Ukraine, does actually make a lot of sense. and it is beneficial for the American taxpayers to hear that as to why are we funding a border dispute between Russia and Ukraine when our border is wide open and we are getting so many problems. And the sad part about this is Putin actually addresses all this in that interview as well. So that is just a key indication that we are a laughingstock on the international stage.
Is Putin the guy that was on the interview that was talking Russian and that you were watching in the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the bald guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more or less I wanted to find out what he had to say. He the first like 35 minutes is literally a history lesson for the from the start of the Russian Empire, basically. And it's interesting, definitely interesting. I do know that Putin doesn't see the new flare up in the confrontation as a new war. He actually sees it as a continuation of the 2014 annexation of Crimea, and he doesn't view that as an annexation. He views that as a way to save lives. Now, whether or not that's true, obviously, it's going to be up to your thought process. I do know that the U.S. has been heavily involved in a lot of these Eastern European nations and destabilizing. So I would say that there might be a hint of truth in what he's saying, but obviously he's going to be spinning it to play to his strengths. The question really boils down to as to why should the American taxpayer be funding a border dispute between Russia and Ukraine, right? And this is why I'm upset with Biden as well. His administration has done nothing to give an off-ramp to the dispute. So all we're doing is seeing death on a pretty large scale over there. And that's not good. People should not be having to die because
Of
major
Biden.
nations want to play politics. What's up?
Nothing. What's a border?
Border. So, you know how, like, we live in southern Idaho, but when we go to Salt Lake, we go to Utah, we cross a border. There's a border between Utah and Idaho that says,
Kind
hey,
of like there's a border between like say Twin and what's close to Twin
Jerome.
and Jerome.
Yep.
They
Because-
have a border. Like
Tech-
this
so-
is Twin, this is Jerome.
So you know how we go over the Prime Bridge? The bridge with the deep canyon?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, the
Yeah,
canyon down by the
that
mall,
canyon. Yeah.
right? So that is the border line between Twin Falls County and Jerome County. Not all borders have like a physical fence or anything like that. They're usually just lines drawn on a map. Sometimes you'll have markers indicating where things are changing, but yeah, that's what a border is.
Okay.
So, and that's just saying, hey, the people inside of this border agree to these certain things, right? And the people outside of that border don't agree with those certain things. And that does lead to tensions, right? Obviously,
Like
people have
wars.
different views on what they want out of life,
Okay.
which is why the globalist agenda doesn't make sense to me, because the desires of the American people are not homogeneous. They're heterogeneous. We have very different beliefs in what we want as an American citizen. So how can we, as an America who has so many different views on the way everything should run, say that we should be a global government when people in India are not going to have the same views as us? We don't even have the same views as ourselves. Chinese don't view things the way we want. Same way, you know what I mean? So the agenda of a global population doesn't make sense. It actually makes more sense to have a nationalistic view and to have treaties in place for commerce and for peace and for security protection, right? Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. I mean, not everyone's going to get along all the time. And in order to facilitate the least amount of deaths, that seems to be the most logical choice to do, is have a strong nationalistic state that the people inside really agree with and the people outside might not agree with, yet then branch out peace treaties and commercial commerce treaties in order to facilitate a growth, because then everyone starts to win. And that's the goal, I think, on a globalist agenda, is everyone starts to win. Now, obviously, there might be some pitfalls and downfalls in there, and some person, in order for someone to win, someone must lose. It's just negotiating the best path where the person who wins can win, and the person who loses does not lose their shirt, right?
Yeah.
As you get older and we have more and more of these conversations, you'll get it.
more.
And you might disagree with me on it too, and that's completely fine. I don't want you just to take my viewpoints and bring them out.
Okay.
So you're your own person. I want you to have your own opinion. I hope I just leave you a framework where you will have the knowledge to ask the questions and then to formulate your answers based on all the data available rather than what someone from the outside is telling you. That's my goal.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, if you have a chance, check out the Putin interview. It was pretty good. It was pretty eye-opening on some stuff. Again, take everything with a grain of salt because obviously Putin's going to put himself in the best light, and make sure you don't fall for like thinking he's just this great guy, because obviously he's not. He had a chance to return the reporter and basically refused. So obviously he missed an opportunity there. If he would have said, yeah, you know what, let me make a phone call right after we get done with this, and then he would have been in headlines like, hey, Tucker Carlson was able to get over there, ask him that question, had him released. Putin's putting forth a good foot, and it seems like he wants to go to the peace tables. The other thing that's interesting is Ukraine actually passed where they can no longer negotiate for a peace deal, which is stupid.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. So I know this is not your topics or interests.
Yeah, I was kind of just quiet the whole time because, you have the rule on this one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just giving my opinion and
I just listen.
Listen, and then, you ask some questions, clarifying questions.
Yeah, like to clarify so I understand some things.
Yeah, and that's completely normal. Completely fine. I don't have all the answers. Trust me, I don't.
No one has all the answers.
Maybe the CIA does.
Unless they're like the World Dictionary.
Maybe.
There should be such thing as a World Dictionary.
Fair.
And then you just pay to go, or just go there and then find out what you need to find out.
It's called Google.
Yeah, but Google's not always correct.
No, Google is not always correct. But Google is a good point where you can start looking up information.
Yeah. But now if there was a World Dictionary that was correct about everything, you wouldn't need no Google. You just have to go.
Yeah.
Spend a little bit of money.
Should we end it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out the live stream. Check to see if you are one of the 3 winners. If you are, make sure to get a hold of us via email or any of the social media platforms, or give us a comment as to where to reach you, and we will reach out to you. So, till next time.
Peace.
Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.